What's your go-to when you think of stress relief? When I think of stress relief, I look toward exercise. It's something that I enjoy. It's something that I know is good for me, and it's something that it does a really good job of de-stressing me. When I like, for example, when I go out on a run, I'll notice the first mile, mile and a half, I'm stressed out. After that, I'm good. Like it just melts away, and I feel so much better. So it's something I know if I can make it at least that mile and a half, I get the stress relief out of it. So you might have a different one, but today we are going to talk about exercise. When we look at exercise, it's something that everybody knows is an excellent part of a healthcare plan. Doesn't matter if you're using it for stress relief, if you're using it for the aerobic benefits, or the other health benefits that it has. But there are instances when you have to be careful with exercise. For example, those with burnout, those with autoimmunity, those with insomnia, your energy is running on low. If your energy is running on low, what do you have to fuel yourself? If you have a car that's getting close to empty on gas and you hammer down the accelerator, you can only last so long before you're out of gas, right? Same thing happens in your body. You only make so much energy, you only have so much energy at a certain time. You can run through that faster than you need to, and you're out of energy. So if you have low energy and you go and exercise, it's not necessarily going to be a good matchup for you. So what happens here? Ultimately, when we need to look at things is, like I said, there's chronic diseases, those times where you don't sleep real well, the times where your stress is real high. There are different times when this is going to be very, very important. But overall, one of the best things you can do is have a fitness tracker of some variety. It doesn't matter if you use the Garmin, which is what I like. Oura Ring has some great capabilities. There are others out there, Apple Watch, Fitbit, Samsung has one. I mean, there's a bunch of them out there, but I really, really like the Garmin because of the technology that it has. And ultimately, when I look at this, it tells me what my energy is for the day, right? It tells you, it bases it off of your sleep, it bases you off your HRV, which is the gold standard for, your stress response. It uses a bunch of other different characteristics, how far you've walked, and just a bunch of different characteristics that it brings through. And it says, this is how much energy you have left for the day. When we struggle with insomnia or autoimmunity or any of these different things, depression is another huge one where we're low on energy. Anxiety can be one. Our energy levels don't tend to be as high as they would stereotypically be on a normal day, right? What does that mean? It means that if you press down on the accelerator, you're going to run out of gas faster. What does exercise do in general? Exercise has phenomenal benefits, and like I said, it should be in everybody's health plan in some way, shape, or form. But if you are going to do it on those days when you're low on gas, you either have to change the type of exercise you're doing, or you have to skip exercise and do something else that's going to be beneficial for you. So why is that? Especially, like, let's look at the type of workout that we're doing. If you go for a walk, is that going to cause problems? Probably not. It depends on how far you walk. It depends on how intense you walk. It depends on how many hills you have and things like that. But in general, a walk's probably not going to beat you down too much. Now, if you go and you lift weights really heavy, if you go and you do any kind of sprint workout, if you do a long run, if you do anything that's really, really intense, if you go play basketball for an hour or whatever your sport is for an hour, it's going to really wear you down. Why is that? When we do those things, we increase the amount of inflammation that we are creating. That sounds like a bad thing, right? But when we look at stress, stress is necessary for growth. We have to have stress in our lives. If we don't have stress in our lives, we don't have any growth. So we have to have that stress. That's where exercise benefits us, is we put our body under stress and we adapt to that stress. So the next time we put ourselves under a little bit more stress, we don't have problems with it, right? So it starts to build and grow. But if you're already inflamed, which if you have insomnia, if you have autoimmunity, if you have depression and anxiety, all of that stuff goes with increased inflammation. So many other things go with increased inflammation. If you have a high level of pain on an average basis, if you feel like you're getting burnt out, if you drink a lot or smoke or different things, there's a ton of things that are associated with inflammation. If you have high blood pressure, all of these things are associated with inflammation levels. So we have to be careful on the type of exercise we do on certain days. But not only do we get that increase in inflammation, we get the drop in energy. What happens when we get that drop in energy? We increase our cortisol, which can drive further inflammation. This is not the situation that we want to put ourselves in on those days where we don't have much for reserves. Does that mean don't exercise? Absolutely not. Modify it. Find something that is going to be good. Just going outside and going for a walk in nice weather. Just going outside and doing some stretching, doing a little light yard work. Staying in the house and doing some yoga, meditation, things like that might be a better fit for you on those days. Wait until the next day when you have a little bit more energy. Then you can do it. But I want you to just examine, where you're at before you just dive into exercise. Because I see a lot of people that come in here and they tell me I'm doing the right things. I'm exercising, I'm eating right, I'm doing all of these different things, but they're not going about them in the proper way, or they're not doing them in the proper order. And that's really what we have to get when we're looking at health, is we have to do things the right way. We have to do them in the proper order. So I hope that you find this helpful. I love you. I appreciate you tuning in. If you do find this helpful, like, subscribe, give me some sort of hint that you did enjoy it and you need more information like this, and I will work my best to provide more of it. So I love you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.